The night blankets the outskirts of a large city, with faint lights flickering from houses and street lamps casting their glow on the empty streets. The world is obscured in darkness, only the distant stars twinkling in the vast sky. Suddenly, a blinding flash of light cuts through the atmosphere, illuminating the area. A massive UFO, sleek and ominous, slowly descends over a vast field. The ground trembles beneath it, creating a ripple of pressure that pushes everything in its vicinity. Narration. With the stars above as the only light, Earth was never prepared for this invasion. They came from a planet unlike any we've known, where war has become a way of life. And the first to be sent to Earth was not a mere foe, but a warrior, a female warrior named Azira. Azira steps out of the UFO, tall and formidable, her metallic armor gleaming under the strange light. She is a warrior, unstoppable and deadly, carrying a long ice sword that exudes cold vapor as she draws it from its sheath. She is here not to make peace but to destroy, clearing the path for an alien invasion. Azira, coldly, mercilessly. Humans, mere weak creatures. But a mission is a mission. She charges into the city, her every step wreaking havoc, destroying everything in her path as though she were a storm that cannot be stopped. Amid the flickering streetlights, Duy, a human warrior, emerges. His muscular build and sharp eyes make him a formidable force. He is not just any soldier, he is the one who stands as Earth's last hope. As he trains, he receives an urgent signal and rushes to where Azira is attacking. He knows that the fate of Earth now rests on his shoulders. The battle erupts in the darkness. Azira and Duy, warriors from two different worlds, exchange fierce blows. Her ice sword, sharp as a razor, creates a freezing wind with every swing, while Duy must rely on his raw strength and combat skills to counter her attacks. Duy, shouting with determination, "No matter what, I will protect Earth." Finally, in a split second, Duy manages to strike a decisive blow, causing Azira to lose her balance. With a deep wound, Azira collapses to the ground, exhausted and on the verge of death. Duy sees Azira lying there, her face pale, her breath weak. Though she is his enemy, he cannot let her die. He quickly carries her back to his home, doing everything in his power to tend to her wounds. Duy, gently, concerned. "You are my enemy, but I can't let you die. You need to live to know that not all humans are the same." As he cares for her, Azira begins to sense the difference between the humans she was trained to hate and Duy himself. She realizes that Duy, despite being a warrior, possesses a kindness and compassion she has never encountered among her own kind. Azira, weakly, with rising emotion. "I don't understand. I was taught that humans are enemies, but why do I feel this way?" "Thank you, Duy." Duy doesn't reply, only smiles gently as he continues to care for her. Over time, their bond deepens, and Azira begins to see humans in a new light, no longer as weak beings but as equals worthy of protection. After Azira fully recovers, the two of them receive news about an army of monstrous space creatures heading toward Earth, ready to invade and destroy everything. Azira cannot remain passive any longer. She has come to care for humans and understands that the fight is no longer just between humans and aliens, but for the survival of both species. Azira, resolutely. "We cannot let Earth fall into their hands. I will stand by you, Duy. Together, we will protect this home." Duy and Azira join the human forces, facing the oncoming alien invasion. In battle, Azira uses her ice sword to eliminate the enemy, each slash freezing the air, while Duy fights beside her, protecting her from danger. Together, they form an unstoppable team, a human warrior and an alien warrior, united in defense of Earth. After the invading army is defeated, Duy and Azira stand together, gazing at the sunrise over Earth. The planet, though scarred from the battle, now shines with new hope. Two warriors, once enemies, now stand side by side, fighting for a common future. Duy, softly. We've won, but the most important thing is that we protected each other. Azira, looking at Duy with a tender gaze. And I've learned that sometimes, love is the most powerful weapon. The final images of Duy and Azira standing together, in a new world, where humans and aliens can coexist and protect this planet. As the night unfolds, Duy prepares to gather information about the alien invaders. In the stillness of his training, the air feels thick, heavy with impending danger. Suddenly, a cold breeze sweeps through the field, and with it, the distant hum of alien technology. A group of extraterrestrial soldiers emerges from the shadows, silent, calculating, and focused on studying Earth's defense strategies. Their bodies are encased in dark, reflective armor, and their movements are eerily synchronized. Duy charges toward them, muscles rippling as he races across the ground. His body is a blur of motion, and in the blink of an eye, the first soldier falls. The others scramble, but it is too late. One of them manages to escape, retreating to report back to the invasion force. The others fall before Duy's relentless attack, their alien armor shattering under his force. Duy and Azira find themselves seated among military commanders, each of them intent on devising a plan to defend Earth. The room is filled with tension, maps of Earth sprawled across the tables, and the flickering lights casting strange shadows on the walls. As Azira listens to the humans discuss tactics, she notices something in Duy: a quiet strength and natural leadership. His words resonate with clarity and purpose, and his sharp mind quickly grasps military strategy. Azira watches him with a new level of respect, feeling something stir within her, an unfamiliar emotion that she's never experienced with her own people. A shrill siren pierces the calm, signaling that the enemy has arrived. The battle is fierce and relentless. The city, once alive with the hum of everyday life, is now a war zone. Azira and Duy fight side by side for the first time, their coordination flawless, their movements a dance of death. Azira's ice sword slashes through the air, freezing the invaders in their tracks, while Duy's fists deliver crushing blows. But the invaders are relentless, their weapons powered by strange technology, and there are moments when both Azira and Duy find themselves pushed to the brink. Every time it seems like the battle might slip away from them, they find strength in each other's presence, pushing forward against the odds. Scene 9, The Differences. As the smoke of battle fades and they find shelter by a crackling fire, the atmosphere between Duy and Azira shifts. The firelight dances on their faces, casting long shadows, as Azira begins to speak of her civilization, an ancient race that has known nothing but war for millennia. She speaks with the weight of centuries of conflict, her voice cold and distant. Duy listens intently, his thoughts turning inward. He speaks of humanity, of its flaws, yes, but also of its potential, its compassion, its ability to grow. In that moment, a bridge forms between them. Despite their origins, they find understanding, a shared respect for life. The night is thick with the scent of betrayal. Azira walks alone, her mind heavy with the conversations she has had with Duy, when suddenly, a group of alien soldiers jumps from the shadows, their eyes glowing with malice. It is a betrayal from her own people, a message from the invading army. They have come to eliminate her for questioning their mission. Before Azira can react, Duy arrives, fighting with fury. His movements are swift and brutal, taking down the traitors one by one. Azira, though weakened, stands beside him. Together, they make a quick escape, their bond deepening as they flee through the night, knowing that their enemies are now much closer than they realized. Azira encounters a former ally from her home world, a friend turned adversary, who urges her to return to the invasion, to finish what was started. The friend speaks with authority, promising glory in the name of conquest. But Azira, no longer the warrior she once was, rejects the call. The words feel bitter, foreign in her mouth. Her friend, frustrated, accuses her of weakness, but Azira stands her ground. The warmth of humanity, the lessons she's learned with Duy, have forever altered her perception. With one final glance, she walks away, leaving her past and her former allegiance behind. In a dark, secure room, Duy and Azira lead the humans in planning a final strike against the alien forces. Maps cover the tables, and a silent tension fills the air. Azira teaches the humans how to use alien technology, guiding them through the intricacies of their advanced weaponry. Her knowledge, once used for destruction, is now a tool for survival. Duy, standing tall beside her, speaks of the human spirit, the resilience that has been their strength throughout history. Together, they create a plan, a blueprint for Earth's future. In a desolate canyon, the battle reaches its peak. Azira faces off against a massive alien creature, its grotesque form towering over her. Its movements are erratic, filled with primal rage. The ground trembles beneath their feet as they fight, and the air becomes thick with the smell of burning ozone. Duy rushes in to protect Azira, but she fights fiercely, her ice sword clashing against the monster's armor. Together, they pierce through its defenses, finally bringing it down in a hail of strikes. The victory, though hard-earned, solidifies their partnership. After the battle, as the dust settles, Duy and Azira exchange a solemn vow. There, amidst the wreckage of war, they promise to never be apart. They will fight, side by side, until the last breath. Earth, their home, will be protected no matter the cost. The final confrontation approaches. The invading forces, relentless in their pursuit, prepare for their ultimate strike. Azira and Duy stand at the forefront of their human army, the weight of the world on their shoulders. This battle will determine the fate of Earth. They lead the charge, their hearts synchronized, their resolve unwavering. Amid the chaos of battle, Duy is gravely wounded, a deep gash tearing through his side. The pain is unbearable, and his strength begins to falter. Azira, her own wounds forgotten, rushes to his side. Her eyes flash with determination as she activates the power of her ice sword, using it to create a barrier around them, preventing the enemy from reaching him. With all her might, Azira fights off the invaders, her love for Duy infusing every movement. She will not let him fall, not when they are so close to victory. As the battle subsides, Azira tends to Duy's injuries. Her touch is gentle yet firm, the healing process slow but steady. They share a quiet moment, their connection deepening. Azira's strength and compassion are bound to Duy's unyielding spirit, and together, they slowly heal body and soul. Scene 18, The Decisive Confrontation. The final battle takes place in a surreal, alien landscape. Jagged, glowing structures rise from the ground like ancient, forgotten monuments. The invaders unleash their most devastating weapons, and the sky itself crackles with energy. Azira and Duy fight side by side once more, their movements fluid and instinctive. Every strike they make is a symbol of their love and unity. Together, they regain control of the battlefield, pushing back the enemy with relentless precision. Before the final, decisive strike, Azira and Duy share a brief, quiet moment. They sit together, away from the chaos, their bodies bruised but spirits unbroken. They speak of their hopes for the future, of the world they want to create together. It is in this moment that their love, forged through fire and blood, becomes their ultimate weapon. The battle is won. Earth is saved. As the last remnants of the invaders fall, Azira and Duy stand at the peak of a mountain, gazing down at the planet they fought so hard to protect. Azira, her past now behind her, has chosen to remain, to fight beside Duy for a future where humanity and the alien races can coexist in peace. Weapons can destroy, but it is love and hope that are the greatest forces in the universe. Even in the face of the most overwhelming foes, humanity finds a way to triumph. The world still trembles from the recent invasion, yet a shadow looms even darker on the horizon. Duy and Azira, standing on the precipice of hope, discover an unsettling truth. The invaders may have been defeated, but something far more insidious is creeping across Earth. Hidden in the darkness, new creatures, shapeshifters, are spreading throughout the planet. They can take any form, even that of a human, infiltrating every corner of civilization, preparing for a second, far more deadly strike. A thick silence hangs in the air as Duy clenches his fists, the weight of the revelation sinking in. Azira, once again a stranger on this planet, feels the cold chill of another war ahead. They both know that if these creatures are not stopped, the peace they fought so hard for will be shattered. Duy and Azira lead a small research team into the heart of the danger. Through the remnants of fallen alien technology and ancient, forgotten ruins, they track the shapeshifters. Each clue they uncover reveals something even more terrifying. These creatures are not just invaders, they are parasites, capable of mimicking their host perfectly. In the dead of night, the team stumbles upon a cavern, where they encounter one of these shapeshifters, its grotesque form shifting before their eyes, its face melting like wax, revealing a soldier from their own ranks. Horror sweeps through the group. The creature grins before vanishing into thin air, leaving behind only a cold breeze and the scent of ozone. Azira's voice is a low murmur, laced with fury. They've infiltrated us. We cannot trust anyone anymore. Amidst the tension and uncertainty, Duy and Azira find themselves alone by a quiet stream, the sound of rushing water mingling with the heavy atmosphere around them. They really talk for the first time, sharing their fears, hopes, and dreams. Azira speaks of a life spent in the throes of endless war, where emotions were a weakness and trust was a liability. But now, something has changed. The compassion Duy shows, the connection they've forged, make her question everything she's been taught. Azira, softly, almost to herself. I was taught to fight, to never feel. But you show me that there's more. That maybe we aren't so different after all. Duy, gently, with sincerity. Strength isn't just in the battles we win. It's in the bonds we create. The mission grows more dangerous as they close in on the heart of the alien conspiracy. In a daring raid, they rescue an old ally of Azira's, a warrior from her home world. However, this warrior has no intention of fighting for the human cause. Despite the bonds of the past, he remains loyal to the alien hierarchy. A tense standoff unfolds, one where allegiances are questioned and old loyalties tested. Azira looks into his eyes, trying to reach the friend she once knew. But the weight of war has hardened him. In the end, the group must decide, will they protect him from the pursuing alien forces, or leave him to face his fate alone? The atmosphere is thick with the sounds of marching, the ground vibrating beneath their feet. The shapeshifters have returned, and this time, they are better prepared. The alien army, using new, devastating weapons, storms the planet once again. But these creatures are more than just soldiers. They are cunning, adaptable, and almost impossible to detect. Duy and Azira, now battle-worn but resolute, lead the charge against the new threat. But even their combined strength is not enough. Each strike they make seems to be met with an enemy that adapts, shifting forms, learning from every move. Azira, with a hint of desperation. We must find their source. If we don't, we're fighting a war we can't win. The group dives deep beneath the surface of the Earth, their mission to destroy the alien command center hidden in the heart of a labyrinthine cave system. The air is thick, the only light coming from their torches flickering against the jagged stone walls. Shadows move in the corners, whispers from a long-forgotten past. They press on, aware that danger lurks at every turn. Suddenly, monstrous creatures emerge from the shadows, giant, grotesque forms with glowing eyes. The cavern becomes a battlefield. The group fights tooth and nail, struggling against the overwhelming odds, with every corner of the cave becoming a death trap. Azira, with a roar, slashes through the dark with her ice sword, but she is momentarily trapped by a creature's massive claws. Duy, fighting through the pain of his own wounds, pulls her free. Together, they slay the beast, and push forward. The war has worn Duy down. The weight of loss, the endless battles, the faces of those who've fallen, all crash down on him. In the stillness of the night, he finds himself questioning everything. His body aches, his mind heavy. He has seen too much, lost too much. Azira, ever the soldier, is the only one who understands the weight of his soul. She finds him, broken, and with quiet words, she helps him find his center again. Azira, calmly. Even the strongest have moments of weakness. It's not about how many times you fall, it's about standing up again. Tensions reach a boiling point when Azira discovers that one of their own is betraying them. An insider has been working with the shapeshifters, feeding them information and sabotaging their plans. The betrayal runs deep, and the group is torn. Trust is shattered, and every plan seems uncertain. The betrayal has left them exposed, and now, more than ever, the need to act quickly is crucial. Azira, furiously, eyes burning with betrayal. We cannot let this traitor tear us apart. We strike before they do. The final confrontation looms large. The leader of the alien invaders, once a trusted ally of Azira, now stands against her as the supreme commander of the enemy forces. The battlefield is set a desolate, alien landscape, its eerie quiet broken only by the sounds of impending destruction. Azira faces her former friend, now an enemy, and in this moment, she must choose, fight and kill him, or offer him a chance to abandon the invasion and walk away from the destruction. Their history, their bond, makes the decision almost unbearable. Azira, softly, with sorrow in her voice. Why? Why couldn't we have found another way? But the answer never comes. Their battle is inevitable. The last battle is a cacophony of fire and ice, chaos, and desperation. Azira and Duy lead the charge, but as the battle rages, Azira makes a final, harrowing sacrifice. In a moment of intense need, she uses the full power of her ice sword, draining herself to the brink of death, to give Duy the strength to fight on. Her sacrifice allows him to land the decisive blow that ends the invasion. As the smoke clears, the earth trembles with the aftermath of victory and the immense cost. Azira lies in Duy's arms, her body broken, her strength gone, but her spirit unbroken.